Hello and welcome to the Road to $1 Million, the series where I try to make $1 million before I graduate from university. Today sitting at 32 subscribers and 23 videos. Let's get right into these charts, guys, because today I have some very important things to talk about for Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as taking a look at AVAX. So a bunch of stuff to talk about for today. Let's just dive right into it. Also, if you haven't joined my Discord server yet, it's a free crypto group. You can join it with the first link in the description down below. Now let's get right into these charts. First of all, on the 4-hour Bitcoin time frame, you can see that we are still playing out this triangle pattern that I have been talking about this entire week. And the price target for this technically is sitting at about $72,000 to $73,000, which we almost reached right here at about 71.7K. However, before we reached the price target, we started consolidating here a little bit in this support range. And if you watched yesterday's video, then you know that I drew this pattern right here saying it looked like a bull flag, which typically if it breaks out to the upside, you would look at the pole and use that as the price target. So the technical price target for this would roughly be $73,000. However, now in the short term, there is some very important things that we need to be looking at, because you can see that we got halfway through this breakout and then we already started moving back down. So this is something very important that we need to take a look at, because this bull flag pattern right here will be invalidated as soon as we break below the point of the breakout. Okay, so if we end up seeing price action from here below the point of the breakout, that would mean that the pattern is invalidated and you would have to scratch off this entire idea of the price target. Okay, so this is something very important that you need to keep an eye on over the next day or so to make sure that you're not looking at the charts incorrectly. Now, as you can see, we might already just be reversing back to the upside here. And in that case, I would be expecting to see some resistance at around the 72K level, all the way up to the 74K level, because this is the exact previous all-time high that we set a couple of weeks ago. So that's something to keep an eye on for Bitcoin. In terms of support, in the case that we do see a breakdown from here, so we actually invalidate the pattern and we start trading downward, well, in that case, I would be looking at support at 70K all the way down to 68.5K. And below that, I would look at support at 66K all the way down to $65,500. Now taking a look at Ethereum, you can see this inverse head and shoulders pattern that I have been talking about for quite a while on the channel here. I also drew out this pattern on the Bitcoin chart. However, the price target for this would be 3,900. Unfortunately, though, almost as soon as we started breaking out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern on the 1-hour chart, you can see that we had a bearish divergence, which typically results in some choppy sideways price action or even some bearish price action, which is exactly what we saw in this case, almost reaching the point of the breakout and then reversing back to the upside. So this is Ethereum's last chance of really going back to the upside from here, because as soon as we start breaking down below this point of the breakout, then we can start to see some more bearish price action, or at the very least, this inverse head and shoulders pattern will have been invalidated. In the case that we do end up moving higher right now, I would take a look at the 3750 level all the way up to the 3800 level as a point of resistance for the Ethereum price. And in terms of support, look at 3550 all the way down to 3450. This is a big important level of support for Ethereum, because in the case that we do break below it, then at the very least expect to see price action all the way down to 3330, because this is a big Fibonacci level right here. But then below it, you actually have 3250 all the way down to 3150. And in this support level right here, I do expect to see a lot of support, a lot of buyers coming in to snap up that Ethereum. One last note for the bearish divergence on the 1-hour Ethereum chart. Since this is on such a low time frame, the 1-hour chart, I think this bearish divergence has already mostly played out, because as I said, you get choppy sideways price action or even some bearish price action. But since it is such a low time frame, it has likely already played out, and we might just get a bounce from this support level right here. Importantly, though, I think the Ethereum price, and in fact, most altcoins, are very dependent on what the Bitcoin price action does. So if Bitcoin is bullish, then we expect these altcoins to be bullish as well, to show bullish price action. And in the case that we see Bitcoin showing bearish price action, then we also expect altcoins to have some bearish price action in the short term. But there are always outliers to this where Bitcoin is bearish, for example, and then an altcoin starts pumping. Of course, this can happen. So obviously, this is not financial advice. Now looking at the AVAX chart, I think I may have spotted a symmetrical triangle pattern right here. And in the case that we do see a breakout from this pattern, I would expect a pretty violent move, either to the upside or to the downside, depending on where it breaks out. For example, if it's to the upside, you can see that this is a 26% move to the upside. However, in the case that we get a breakdown from here, then it would be the inverse. So this would be a also 26% move to the downside. So in the case of a breakout to the upside, I would be looking at a price target of around $70. And in the case that we get a breakdown, I would be looking at a price of roughly $40. So at the latest, I would expect this breakout before April 1st. So this is something that I will be taking a look at over the next couple of days, though I'm not sure if I will be sharing it in these videos. So definitely save this to your watch list and take a look at it for yourself. Next, for the support and resistance levels for AVAX, a very big support level that you really need to keep in mind is about the $61 level, because this is a big Fibonacci retracement level from the previous all-time high. So $61 is definitely something to keep in mind, all the way up to about $65. And in terms of support for the AVAX price, it is about $50 down to $47.50, as well as $44.50 down to $41. And again, this $40 to $41 range is a big Fibonacci retracement level for the AVAX price. So in terms of support, I would definitely expect to see a lot of buyers come in here and support the price action. Now, lastly, taking a quick look at these Bitcoin liquidation heat maps. First of all, there's a big pocket of liquidity right above the current price at about $72,000. So in my opinion, especially considering that we have all these patterns right here, the $72,000 level looks pretty juicy for the Bitcoin price, though this is obviously not guaranteed. And then again, another massive pocket of liquidity sitting at 74,000. So it would be really nice if we can take out this liquidity right here and set a new all-time high. But we'll see it when we get there. Let's just take it one day at a time and not get ahead of ourselves. One last thing that we must take into account with these Bitcoin liquidation heat maps is there has really been a decent amount of liquidity piling up below us right here. So because of that, you can see it here on the weekly Bitcoin liquidation heat map as well. Maybe we could actually see a pullback here, but I don't want to fully call for this because I'm just not sure. It doesn't look obvious, especially since we have all these patterns right here that are just basically pointing upward. I think it's really hard for me to call for a move to the downside here. But for me personally, it's definitely something that wouldn't shock me at this point. So I just want to have made that very clear. But again, I'm not really calling for anything. I'm just telling you guys what I see in the charts, and you can do with that information what you want. This has been today's update video. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm really trying to get to 50 subscribers for this channel. It would be a huge goal for me. So subscribe if you thought this video was useful. Also, you can still join my free crypto group. It's the first link in the description of this video. So join that if you haven't already. It's a great place to meet some new friends and talk about crypto. Like this video if you haven't already. Let's get 10 likes on this video. That would be really awesome. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you in the next one.